thinking? Ford Ranger? Overlanding? I know, crazy. But anyways, I'm Ben from Overland Garage, and today I'm going to show you my personal Overland vehicle. This is a 1983 Ford Ranger. It's not exactly what we would call stock. Yeah, pretty much nothing on it is stock. But this is proof that you can do a lot with a little. And so let's get right into it and start talking about it. So it started off its life as a 1989 regular cab long bed V6. And over the years, it morphed. And it grew. Actually, the only one you'll ever see, because I did all the work myself. I cut the frame in half, made it longer. So now it's a super cab long bed. And it's a 302, original 5-speed transmission. And it's a 8.8 rear end with positive traction and front Dana 35. But let's talk about some of the other modifications I've done. So it's got a 10,000 pound Warn winch, and I upgraded the little winch cable here and synthetic rope and the Warn hook there. It's 302, mildly built, it's bored 30 over. I did all the work myself. I need to get an air cleaner so I can hook my snorkel back up, but I'm running dual Optima 3478 red top batteries, and over here a S-Pod. This is a DIY S-Pod and a Blue Sea terminal, and it's all off a circuit breaker and relays. So all of my wiring and my lights, they run off of that S-Pod, and there is no need of worrying about burning your vehicles to the ground. I have an ARB front and rear differential and transfer case breather setup. That's good if you're going off-roading. I haven't done a whole lot of off-roading with this yet, but my goal is to take a trip to the Allagash this summer, and let's see where that goes. So you're probably wondering, what color is this? This is Toyota TRD Cement Gray, and I did all the body work and painted this truck myself, and I built everything you see on it. I built the steps, I built the bumpers, I built the tire carrier swing out. And if you were to buy a tire carrier swing out for this truck, it's probably $1,200, just because it's a Ford Ranger and everything is custom modified. I built the bumpers, like I said, those would have been $600–700. I built these rock sliders, those would have been another $700. My point is, you go to the steel place and you get some steel, you can make these bumpers for all of that was $1,200 all together. That's just steel and a couple of modifications. So you can do all of this yourself. You don't have to spend a ton of money. Now these roof racks, those are a Prinsu design. So that's a 1/4 inch by 3 inches wide aluminum flat bar, and then I just made a low profile rack out of them. Eventually, I'm gonna have a video on that, but I'm going to build a long low profile rack up here. And my rooftop tent, which is usually on this truck, will no longer be on the truck, and I'm building a trailer to match the truck. So that'll be interesting. Now if we take a look inside, looks a little bit like a Ford Ranger in here, but I've got a ham radio over there. Over here is a scanner head, police scanner, and then I got multiple mounts, CB down there, and then of course you got to have a tablet with your GPS on it. All my switches for all my lights are right down here, and they're all operated off of that S-Pod, like I said before. Couple of modifications that you wouldn't normally see in a truck like this, and yes, that's a Chevy overhead console out of a 90s Chevy, but it worked perfectly in this truck. And then this is a Big Sky rack for a gun, 2 guns actually. But my point of all this whole thing is everything you see in this truck can be done yourself. So let's take a minute for a second. What is overlanding? Overlanding is vehicle-based adventure travel, and that's attained many, many different ways. Some people I've seen use like a Subaru and they deck that out. They put roof racks and lift kits. The point is, it doesn't matter what you use for a vehicle. You can use pretty much anything as long as it's reliable, has potentially a good thing to have all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and you need a few basic necessities. You can do most of it with your basic camping stuff. You don't have to go out and buy a $5,000 refrigerator that goes in the back of your truck. You could buy a weekend cooler. Depends on what you're doing. If you're going for a weekend or if you're going for months, you're going to want to take that into consideration. My truck was designed originally as a plow truck. It's funny to think about where it is now, but I decided one day that I was going to build an Overland vehicle, and I wanted to do dual purpose and have this vehicle be something if I needed to go, I needed to get out of town, I could just pack my bags and go. So yeah, I built this vehicle, and then it kind of evolved into something bigger than that. But I will, in my later videos, show you some more things. If you have questions, please put that in the comments. Also, like and subscribe. Every little bit helps with a new guy starting out. So anything you guys have questions on, I can give you advice. I can offer tips. And it doesn't have to be very expensive, is my point. You can do all of this very inexpensive. I probably have less than $10,000 in this whole truck, which sounds like a lot for a Ford Ranger, but it's mostly accessories, and you can do a lot with a little. So if you like this video, like and subscribe, and put something in the comments. Help a guy out. Let me know what you think. Thank you. This is Overland Garage.